Hey, what's happening, fam? Bringing episode 3 for Just a Conversation, and today I'm hanging out with my boy B, Breanden Butler. So B, how about you kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself, bro? Like, maybe how we met or whatever, man. Whatever you feel like, bro.
Oh, wow, man. I met you through Chris up in the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
About 5 years ago, in the recovery community, because that's where we were back then.
Yep.
That's what we were doing.
That's what we were doing.
But
AA.
yeah, man, you were friends with him, and he introduced me to you, and our friendship grew from there, dude. And that was like 5 years ago, man. Time flies, dude. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, dude. So, that being said, like, all it does is take one person to change your life, or one instance to change your life, really, because I met you and my life went into a totally different direction. That being said, I mean, it went into a total different direction because, well, first of all, the opportunity was there because I met you, and you had and have a very useful skills, and you're a very useful human being in many different ways. So I jumped on that, and I saw those talents, and I just jumped on board and grew from there, and throughout the process that I've known you, it's been a lot of me holding my own tongue, having faith and having faith and seeing of things that aren't there right in front of me, having faith in things that aren't there in front of me, just the unknown in general. Because back to Chris meeting you from the mountain. At that time, I believe there was a real certain part of each and every one of us that had this desperation that, you know what, man, I'm gonna get fucking sober. I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this anymore. I'm sick of upsetting my folks. I'm sick of upsetting my friends. I'm sick of feeling like a soulless person that's just lost. And stopping is a lot easier said than done. I don't know anybody that gets it on one shot. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Not only the process of recovery it's a real process, because you grow so much that you didn't know that you had, or that you didn't know that was even there.
That's right, brother.
Because as addicts, we restrict ourselves, and we really become simpletons. We become simpletons of society. We become like monkeys. Basically, it's the same behavior over and over and over again. Breaking behavior is not easy. Breaking behavior takes coaching. Breaking behavior takes change. Change doesn't happen without change. So therefore, this equation right here that I would say is work. It's hard work. It's hard work no matter what you do. There's nothing coming easy in this life. There's no easy way out. I'm 47 years old. You know how many plans I had about some real quick ways to do this and that, and I was going to be here, and there. And I did. But I tell you what, the end result, where it ended me, there's no stone unturned. Everything comes out in the wash. Karma is real. Your soul is a genuine, very fragile part of your body that you need to take care of. And that comes with taking care of your health. Taking care of your health is doing the steps that we're going to be talking about, like right now in conversations like this. This is so important. It's way much more than just important, okay? It's your fucking life. And you know what? Keegs has coached me from day one, and I've been an open vessel, okay? And I've got tremendous results from it, in so many different ways, truly. But again, it is work. And that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it back to you, man, and let me know how you think. I mean, I told you 5 years ago, bro. Like, wow, look at where we are now, and I mean, like, really.
Well, yeah, you know, bro. I don't know. I feel like you kind of like put me up on this thing there for a second. Like, this microphone's on this pedestal right here, right? So it's picking up our conversation. But what I'm saying, dude, is like, I don't know if you realize how much you do for me, bro. We're friends. We're family. We're brothers. We really are, you know. 5 years ago, you guys, when we met at a heavy metal show. It was Lamb of God, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Lamb of God.
And
yes.
I was getting down in the pit, and your boy was juicy. You know, I was pretty big. I'll have to find a picture and throw it up here, you know, and cut it into the podcast so everybody can kind of see what I look like. Bro, I bet you can find that picture from the show, dude.
Yes.
But
yes.
But anyways, we meshed around music, but also around the anatomy of the body. And what I mean by that is you acquire an eye, a certain level of perception when you are a trainer, or when you're working with your body, or when you're into bodybuilding. And that was a big aspect that B and I kind of built our relationship, our friendship off of, was the gym. And it's funny because, like, I'm sure not as prevalent today, because I'm sure that there's a lot of really well-spoken gym rats, and people are actually starting to realize, like, these guys in the gym, and these women too, know what they're doing. You know, because you're hacking the matrix in the way, by modifying your body with your intention, and with going into the gym and using weights a particular way to bring about a particular sculpture or piece of art. Really, and to me, it's an artwork, right? So we kind of bonded over having this similar type of way of looking at life, and this way of looking at life, looking at the human body, is really interesting because it blossomed into something else now. Being that we incorporate a metaphysical aspect, you know, spiritual aspect, energetic working aspect, like Reiki and Qigong and things like of that nature. It just amplifies that. It amplifies your ability to train better, harder, faster, you know, stronger, which is what a lot of athletes are looking for, you know. And that's something that B and I have actually been spending the last year or so working on together, is incorporating the power of intention, your mindset, Reiki workings, so energetic workings, meaning using signatures, symbols, frequencies, also using radionics technology, which I can get into all that, family. I don't want to get too crazy right now, but what I'm saying is we figured out a way to train, have a great time, our bodies are responding great, we're repairing faster, but also enlarge and expand your consciousness at the same time. So
yeah, well said. Absolutely.
I mean, so it's just been like this fun experiment that we've been doing, you know, where we're breathing and we'll work out and we're exchanging this information or these conversations between each other, you know, and we kind of felt like that it was time that we shared these conversations that we're experiencing and talking about and interacting about, you know, with all of you now, really.
We're just a lot more powerful than you think. Each and every single one of us. It's just about how much you want to tap into that. And how much work you'd like to do on yourself. that's what that comes down to. Okay, guys. Come here, Pierre.
Yeah, yeah.
Get over there. Stay over here a second. Yeah, grouchy. You look grouchy? Okay. Okay, tell him. Let him know. You know what? And, what did you just touch on? I was just going to say something to you.
How we've been incorporating essentially qigong and reiki type exercises.
Okay.
In with our actual, workouts, physical workouts. So
Exactly, because that's how you're able to center yourself. I mean, each and every single one of us needs to be doing something where you're actually centering and aligning your body, and you're not all over the place like a gummy bear. Because that means your mind's all over the place like a gummy bear.
That's right.
You gotta think about what you're doing.
These damn gummy bears lately, bro.
Damn gummy bears. You know? You know what it is? I just feel like there's so much information out there when it comes to, okay, say it's bodybuilding. Okay, for instance. Okay, yeah, I've been in the bodybuilding world forever, and I don't talk about the bodybuilding world really much. Because I don't have too much positive things to say about the bodybuilding world. But that's not this conversation. The conversation is about your health, wellness, and how we're going to move forward here in the future and continue and be healthy. Because we live in a toxic environment, okay? So we also live in an environment where you're looking at getting so much information thrown out at you at once. And that's just the day and age of the internet, and I understand that, and that's some good and bad points right there. But believe it or not, say when it comes to fitness, bodybuilding, it's really this simple. Okay, it's about exercising on a daily basis for more than 30-40 minutes, right? And then putting in just enough calories. That's it. That's all it comes down to. You need to be eating so many calories that you can work out, and you can have this balance. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all it is balance. You can't overtrain and you can't undereat. You can't undereat and you can't overtrain. You gotta just have this balance, and it's easy. But they don't make it easy. Nothing comes easy. They want to make things difficult and hard, and they want to make a bunch of different supplements. They want to have you to take this, and they want you to take that. It goes on and on. When it comes to the supplementation, the food's the biggest drug, no matter what. These guys like Jack LaLanne and Regs Park, and you got top of my mind right now, like Frank Zane. I just saw Frank Zane's diet on an Instagram post not too long ago, and it was just so simple and basic. And that's truly what the guy did. It was nothing more than that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you're talking about when we get into talking about bodybuilding being unhealthy, and this is the bodybuilding I know. I know running 5 to 6 different compounds. I know I gotta go to the buffet once a day. Yeah, that's right. I gotta get my 4 or 5 chicken and rice meals in, but then I gotta hit that buffet or diner once a day. Okay, what happens is when you get close to 50 years old, you just go to sleep and you don't wake up, and that's what's happening. There's a lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of eye-opening stuff. In 2021, 31 athletes died. 31 bodybuilders died in 2021 that were anywhere from 35 to 45 years old. That's really, really young. Do you know that Derek Lungsford, he's the second place champ of this year's Mr. Olympia. He's 26 years old. 26 years old. In a few weeks, they got the Iron Classic coming up. His coach doesn't want him to do it because he doesn't think he's healthy enough. He's 26 years old. He just got done doing the Olympia, but that was like weeks ago. He's all refed. His kidneys are nice and juicy. He's all good. He thinks he's not healthy enough to do the Arnold. This is what we're coming to on this sport. I'll leave it alone at that, and that's reality.
What are you getting at, B? What do you mean by that?
So why is he's 26 years old, man, and he obviously he just got done with the Olympia. He started this prep for the Arnold, and they're like, "You're not healthy. That means your levels are through the roof in every which way possible."
Mm-hmm.
You know, Hanny Rambod's like, "No, you're not healthy."
Mm-hmm.
Where, in like that would have never happened to like Kevin Leone or those guys. Like they did like 8 shows a year.
Right. But you got to also think about the supplementation now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I in all honesty, fam, like I'm not really involved in the bodybuilding community anymore. My life has gone in a different trajectory over the last 2 years, which is a lot of what this channel is about. But I actually see how this ties in because this coincides with this consumption.
Yeah. See why I brought it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So this incessant need in our society, and we see it prevalently with the eyes that we've had, right? So the eyes that we've had have been, with the health and fitness industry. Let's just call it the health and fitness industry, because a lot of that has to do with like health and wellness coaches, and nutritionists, and life coaching. All these things I'm putting quotations.
Yeah.
I do all of them, but
yeah.
but who doesn't these days, right?
Yeah.
Who's not an expert?
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is a lot of us are receiving information from outside of ourselves, right? That's telling us this is the diet, this is the way to be eating, or these are the best supplementations, these are the supplementations that your body needs, and you're going to need them for however many long. Listen, we have seasons here. Whether you're in a part of the world that maybe doesn't experience all 4, the world is still moving, okay? There are seasons, and our body is affected internally by these seasons, whether we want to be conscientious of it or not. So, we actually should be eating seasonally and changing what we eat as the weather changes and what's in season, what's not in season, because our body actually responds to what is in soil, being that we come from the soil. If we're constantly receiving information out here telling us, and especially here in the mind, telling us what to consume, and we're talking mainly about food right now because that seems to be like the biggest point. More often than not, my experience has shown, not going to be receiving the right nutrients. Now, what does that mean? Yes, your mind needs to be involved in this process of learning what to eat. But I'll tell you, my life took a drastic turn 2 years ago, and I was heavily regimented with my eating, okay, especially being in bodybuilding. Dude, I weighed my meals. I had meals at certain times of the day, certain time windows, carb cycle. I've tried all kinds of different things. It wasn't until I first of all learned to fast, and this is for me personally, because when I fasted, at least for 24 hours, it gave my body finally an opportunity to just calibrate and take a moment and be in its own energies, instead of constantly putting something inside and on top of, because what we should be listening to in terms of, what to eat is our gut and our heart, because these two right here will give you way more information for what the body needs, right? Than this. This is going to get things confused. It really is, because it's just too much information coming, blah, 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 blah. Check in with your stomach, with your gut. Feel into, a meal that you're going to engage in. It's a sacred act, really. They're not with our ancestors, it was a big deal to gather around and be with each other and eat and bring nourishment and sustenance. A lot of our ancestors would go out and hunt. And we've kind of lost that with our ability to get things delivered to us and just kind of keep consuming and you know. So as far as like the supplementation goes, though, you know, like I'm not sure what they're doing, but I know that I've seen a lot of the protocols out there, and that was a big reason why I left bodybuilding too. You know, when I stopped taking all of the gear and all the products, and when I say gear, I mean the steroids. When I stopped putting them in my body, and I started listening to my body, I stopped consuming a lot of other things too. You see, 2 years ago, I received a very strong message from my higher self, essentially, and told me to go on a fast. So I went on a fast. I fasted for a couple of days, and then I went on a raw diet, a raw vegan diet for a little while, for probably about 2 months. And this alkalized my body and also decalcified my pineal gland. This is a very life-altering experience, and if any of you are contemplating going into something like this, I would be more than happy to help guide you through this, because this will put you into a psychedelic state of consciousness. Okay, fasting for periods of time coupled with your intention, but also if you've not alkalized your body or gone on, and I'm not talking about, you know, it's different for everybody, but what I'm getting at, fam, is this is a very serious process, and it can be very scary for some people, because when you decalcify your pineal gland, you're going to wake up to the realities of the planes that we inhabit and your multidimensionality, pretty much. And this process would appear to be a psychological breakdown for a lot of people. So it's really important that you have a safe community, somebody to help you along this process, to help you keep you grounded and sane, you know. While we're moving into the energies of this year, this is going to be happening for a lot of you. Okay, so just be aware and be conscientious, and you know, of what's happening and why you're doing this, because there can be extremes too to not consume, you know, and we've seen this, right? If you're researching, you know, different lifestyles, different cultures, the ancient yogis in India, some of them would go till they were skin and bones. Okay, the Buddha has done this as well, right? Is it necessary? I don't know. This is a personal question, but be conscientious that there's extremes. These extremes in my life and my experiences so far have shown me that in the extremes is where I find issues. That's where the rigidity arises, and that's where I'm not in the flow any longer, right? There is a way to be in the flow. But yeah, that's what tying back into the flow, into the seasonally eating, and into changing how we eat, because I listen to myself, and I don't eat. I haven't eaten red meat, and I haven't eaten chicken or pork or any meat in 2 years, over 2 years now. Oh. Yeah, but recently, you know, in the last few weeks, I've been called to start sitting with bone broth and incorporating bone broth into my regimen. And as I've been working out more, you know, I'm listening to the messages from my body and from my heart, and they're saying, you know, we want to incorporate this. So for me, I'm taking these things in, conscientious of where they're coming from and the spirit behind them, and I'm communing, you know, with the spirit of these animals, and I feel them inside of my body. And I believe that that's how the way it was with our ancestors. And in order to start receiving those messages, fam, you got to empty the vessel and make room to receive those messages. You see, and if we're carnivorous in nature, we're gonna be acting differently. You know, we're gonna be. It's just something to be aware of. You know, I've also been called to supplement with full body organs, bovine organs, and from you know, a certain company out there, and And it's what I do is I bring, you know, a supplement to my heart space, whether it's medicine, which the supplementations, in my personal opinion, should be medicine. And in fact, what I'm consuming should be a form of medicine, being that it is bringing me a nourishment of some sort. Otherwise, why am I consuming it? So, I take these, you know, capsules and I bring them to my heart space and I feel my body light up. Then yes, you know, that is the day that I sit with them and I take them in and I work with that medicine. I work with those nutrients. And I just listen, and I trust me, fam, it'll get louder. Right, B?
Right.
I mean, what has the process been for you? You know, like you hear the messages too, you know?
Of course, man. Of course.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. Yeah, absolutely. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, yeah. Slowly but surely, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean, the consistency is what it's all about.
If anything.
Right?
If anything. Doesn't matter what you're doing, just consistency. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. So what about you, dude? What about your experience with like changing what you've been consuming? And also, fam, this is the other reason for me personally is I'm listening. You know, I'm not closed off to the idea of eating meat. I'm not. I'm listening to and I'm already taking in meat. I am taking in the animal. I am. So, I mean, there's that. But what I mean by that is if I had the opportunity to go out and cultivate that conversation, which is going out and hunting, I mean, this act in and of itself would be a very beautiful opportunity for me to dig into those parts and express those parts and commune with an animal in that way and understand what goes into bringing that, you know, to the place of where we can consume that, to the table, really. So that's another thing, you know, like this blind consumption of just whatever it is, whether it's meat or you know, candy or whatever, you know. I'm just saying it's all the same kind of behavior behind it, you know. Oh yeah, and I mean, like, I don't think I'm a big guy or anything, but I maintain this size that I'm at about 200 pounds. I'm 5'9", 200 pounds. I eat about once a day.
Yep.
Okay? And I work out. I train martial arts for hours at a time. You know, I'll work out and train weights for hours at a time. It's just about what you're putting in because my micronutrient intake is very high. And I use a lot of different herbs and minerals and all kinds of things to keep my body vibrant and healthy, as well as being out in nature, how we are out here today. You know, as we ascend and our DNA changes and we become lighter, you know, what we consume needs to change as well. You know, but yeah.
I love it. Stuff, man.
Yo, B, actually, I got a question for you, bro. So what's been your experience, like, cognitively in your mind? How's your mind kind of shifted since we've been incorporating the breath work, the pranayama exercises for the last year now that we've been working on them together?
Yeah.
And the qigong and all the Reiki, you know, all that stuff. And I mean, also you guys, I'm a Reiki master teacher, you know, all that jazz. But what I'm getting at is, B's also been learning Reiki. It's all the same. They're all just different points on the energetic bubble that is you, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, he's been learning under me as well, and he's been attuned with different remembrances of his energy body, and so dude, share that with us.
It was really bad. Remember, I was getting bit by spiders.
Oh my goodness, that's right, bro. That's right.
That was crazy. Yeah, so we got over that, but we got over that by really being able to calm down and center yourself. And
well, hold on. I don't want to interrupt. But hold on, B. For those of you that don't understand, okay, so legitimately, so the line of work that he's in, okay, he helps run security for a big chain of motels, all right? And there's certain types of people that, you know, kind of come along with these motels, and, you know, they're people that used to be just like us, you know, people that are using, that are stuck, you know, that are running with the devils and demons, you know. And essentially what was happening, we found out, is that the sickness that was around him, that was attaching to him, all the dark energies, because he was unable to manage his own energy, and then the energies coming around him were manifesting themselves physically here, fam, in the form of spiders, and they were attacking him.
Me, man. Ended up in the hospital for like 2 months. It was really bad. It was horrible. Lost like 20 pounds. I had a motorcycle accident at that time too.
Oh my goodness!
Oh man, it was a real good one. Yeah, it was 2021 was a really tough year. Yeah, because that started off with a bicep tear, a total bicep tear. I needed total tendon reconstructive surgery. This bicep here was healing with that. COVID was going on. Alone, I relapsed. So that wasn't very good. So during the relapse, the healing process for the arm just took that much longer, which wasn't very good for my health. And then I started experiencing these spider bites that were landing me up in the hospital. And they were recluse bites. So it was really, really nasty. So, I mean, it made me tremendously sick. You know, so between motorcycle accidents, COVID, getting a bicep put back on, spider bites, I was like 40 pounds fluctuating throughout the year. It was really crazy. So I was either looking like Skeletor, or I was either looking like a human Rottweiler. I don't know. It was either one or the other. So it's just a really, really tough year. You know, we're out west. We're in California here. There's a ton of spiders, and there's a ton of spiders that like they're just finding out about now. Really, there's a lot of these like false widow spiders that will make a child or like an infant like really, really sick, or just like really give you upset stomach, or like really just F up your day. But if you get bit by enough of them, it adds up, and you know, it does affect you mentally. I mean, if you're getting bit by spiders, your mind is, I mean, it's horrible. I mean, every night, I mean, I'm in and out of the hospital, and every night I'm taking a big spray bottle of bleach and peppermint and just spraying down my baseboards, spraying down the vents, spraying down everywhere, taking all my clothes, spraying them all. Wake up the next morning, fucking huge spider bite on my rib. Had to go have it drained. I mean, I literally spent like 15 hours earlier that day prepping my whole house, and I literally woke up with a literally a softball-sized welt on my rib that was absolutely needed to get drained right away. I brought all my clothes to the laundromat. Everything I owned was in the laundromat. I moved from my place. I cleared everything out of my house. I moved to a different location. It made me absolutely insane. Okay, so I worked on meditation and breathing throughout this with Keegan. I did a lot of work that I've never done before. Okay, I did a lot of work where it was 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night, man. I've had a long day, but I didn't have a choice. I gotta go see him so I can learn to do this. Because I said to you guys before, we're a lot more powerful than you or we think. Okay? Plus, how about just desperation? How about I was just that desperate? There was that much fucked up shit going on in my life that I was just that desperate. Okay? End of story. Okay? So, you want to hear, did I get results from this? Yeah, I did. I got results right away. But again, I went and worked at it. I didn't sit in front of my phone. I didn't think about it. I didn't talk about it. I actually got on my own 2 feet and used my own 2 calves, took my brain and put my heart, soul, and mind into something and said, I don't want to live like this anymore. I need help. Nothing's too effing weird at this point. Because everyday society really isn't looking too mentally sound, to be honest with you. I mean literally. Seriously. I mean literally. I've been everywhere. I've been to military, prison, and college. I've been a drug addict. I've been an alcoholic. Okay? The normal dude or chick out there that's the white collar that has never been arrested, that normal citizen that's living out there right now, y'all a bunch of fucking weirdos. Seriously. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God. I'm serious. You fit into this weird category about control and some other weird things going on, and I'm being honest.
They might not even be real people,
you
bro.
know, we might not even be real effing people.
They
you
might
know
just
what I
be
mean?
a construct of the
where
mind.
did you? I mean, like seriously, like, how do you like? I don't know. I don't get. I guess the military's looking for senior citizens.
Why?
Oh, yeah, that's what I saw on my phone the other day. The military looking for senior citizens. Oh, this is a hoot. Oh, this is great. I just love the U.S. military, by the way. We'll just add that here. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Oh, can seniors join the military? Okay, all right, so let's get this straight, okay? Do you know how many guys and girls, when those towers got hit, said, let's do this, sign me up?
Of course.
And do you know how many of those recruiters said, you can't have this tattoo, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that? That's what we got. You guys wanted someone that looked good on paper. You wanted a fucking pawn. And you know what? All said and done, you left everything in Afghanistan. You left the whole kit and caboodle over there.
Yeah, there's a Stargate there.
ISIS has an assortment of the most technical, most beautiful weapons money can buy. Thank you, Biden. Nice. Or whoever else is in charge of that. But come on. And now I see on Instagram, you're looking for seniors in the U.S. military? Okay, you wouldn't let people in with a DUI. You wouldn't let fucking people in with a DUI. And now you're looking for senior citizens that have no right of doing any kind of tactical training. How can you expect a senior citizen to be doing any kind of tactical training? Okay, let's back up to the tactical training, okay? As a coach, as a former employee of ISSA, International Sports Science Association, I was hired privately outside by the Marine Corps in Pendleton. Okay? I was hired as a private coach, an outside contractor. I went into Pendleton. I went through the facility, the whole course, the whole kit and caboodle. It was a fucking joke. No man or woman should ever be put something through that fucking easy in their life. Why do you think they're going over there and tripping on rocks and breaking their ankles? Because they were never ready. And then you made too many laws that were so ridiculous. I mean, hey, you got guys in boot camp. Oh, they got hazed. They're feeling a certain way. Oh, they're going to pull their guard card. Hey, here's your card. What the fuck's going on?
Well, you know, B, I'll tell you what I think is going on. I think that, and I just want to say thank you to all of you, you know, that have served, including some of my family members. And, thank you for your service. But, no, there's not a but. I'm going to go back. I'm just saying thank you. There's no but to the thank you, you know? But, I'm gonna take that quote, that statement that you said about being pawns. Okay, so like let's just like I'm gonna throw a spin on this, fam, and you can take it however you want. Take it however you want. This is a fantasy, right? We're just having a conversation, you know. We don't need to get too attached to anything here, but potentially, after my understanding over the last few years of practicing certain energetic workings, magic most importantly, I've come to understand that everything is energy. Now, one of the darkest forms of magic, me not having practiced, okay? Researching, but not practiced, I would assume that a sacrifice would be the highest form of a dark form of magic, right? Sacrificing a human.
Yeah. That's a good way to put that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or an animal as
Sure.
well, you know, but we're sacrificing animals every day and you're consuming it, going back to the whole consuming thing. But regardless, let's get back to this whole, speaking of war, okay? Let's speak about war. Let's speak about, you know, this part of this conversation was struck up by the Twin Towers. So let's talk about that then, all right? Sacrifice. What if? What if it was a large-scale ritual and a sacrifice to a god that potentially ruled this realm? Yeah. I'm talking about a higher dimensional, multi-dimensional being that consumes energy. Whether you realize it or not, fam, sitting right here this whole time, I've been consuming the sun through my crown chakra consciously, pulling it into my body and nourishing my cells and pulling it into my lower dantian. Okay? Oh, what is all that? Well, guess what? Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not happening.
That was not a surprise, and that was no secret. And shame on the people that knew about this. Shame on them. May they rot in hell.
Well, they're worshiping the Lord of Hell, bro. So that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at, fam. Is that these are wide scale. Every ward that we've gone through has been massive, massive ritualistic offerings up to a deity. Okay? That's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. We're pawns in a much bigger... This is not a political thing. This is not a Russia or China or Ukraine.
No, this affects us.
This is an interdimensional thing, fam. This is an interdimensional thing.
Yep. Okay.
Hey fam, sorry about that. I guess I ran out of memory on my iPad, and that'll bring us to a close for today's episode. But check back in when we kind of dive a little bit deeper about what we're consuming, how we got to what we're consuming, what we're putting in our body, whether it's food or water or our cleaning products, hygiene products. And all of those things of that nature to help raise our vibration and help us be the best vessels we can be, essentially.
Keegan wants to help, and I want to help too, as much as I can, and be of service as much as I can. And I say this because I know so many men and women are doing things on a daily basis that are so repetitive that aren't good for them, but they can't get out of that rut. It's like they can't get out of that habit, whether it be fluoride in your toothpaste or, you're just doing something kind of ass backwards morally, and I say that because it's important. Your morals are very important. So don't be afraid to reach out. I just started doing this not too long ago, and I really enjoy it, and I love it. And if I could turn someone else on to a lifestyle as if Keegan and I live, I'd be so happy. I would like that for somebody.
Yeah, bro. All right.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. That's why
I just want everybody to be happy and healthy.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you can't go around angry. You can't go around vengeful. You can't go around fighting the world. you really got to let the ego go and let it go. And the things that you don't like and they make you upset, you know what? You're going to do other things in your life and focus on other things. And those negative things are just going to go away. And those positive things in you, the light, are going to shine. But in order for you to shine, you really have to work on here. You have to work on yourself. And this all comes down to deep meditation from my coach, Keegan. And as I said, there's a lot to it, and it's a lot of work. And my advice, dive into it. Dive into Keegan. God bless you guys. I love you, man. I want the best for you.
Thank you, brother. It's so cool. Thank you for being on here with us today,
man.
bro.
I just want the best for everybody.
Yeah, I love you,
Yeah, I
bro.
love you too, man.
All right.
All right, brother.
Thank you, fam. Well, peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.